read a post one day and it said, "How you don't like single mothers and you came from one." I don't know.
Before he gets into it, I did watch the video before I did this video. It's heartfelt. It makes a lot of sense. And sometimes a lot of women don't see it this way. But this is why many men tend to avoid single mothers, as well as this shows how much single mothers have such a huge effect on how men are raised. But they have a problem how men are nowadays when they were actually raised by a single mom, which cause an effect. They're the reason behind it sometimes. That's right.
Other men's story, I just know mine. Sorry, I'm a little congested and emotional. But let's continue. You would think that the childhood I grew up in, that I wouldn't even look a single mother's way. Every woman that I dated besides the first one had kids. And I honestly don't think I would do it again.
Another thing is some single mothers swear that they're raising their sons to take care of women and be whatever, be a chivalrous man or whatever. But in some cases, he said it, all you're doing is raising a man to be super save, to be a super saver hoe, or super saver chick, or whatever you want to call it. He gets into situations trying to save her because all his life he saw his mom struggle and he wished somebody would have came in and saved her. So now when he sees a single mom, he's kind of living out his childhood dream of saving a woman. And it gets you in a whole lot of trouble.
My mommy issues decide to pick women who are just like my mama so I can save her through them. Definitely put myself through a lot of trouble. But as a child with a single mother who chose to be a single mother, because most of y'all are not really single mothers, you just think that you know better than your baby daddy, so you cut him off.
He's absolutely truthful. He's telling the truth. A lot of women tend to leave their baby daddies only because they don't want to listen to the order. They don't want to listen to they don't want to listen to a man telling them what to do. But a job can tell them what to do. But a man telling them what to do? Nah. And that's something in itself. You have to understand. Sometimes you have to realize the man may know something you don't. Sometimes a woman does too. But if you want a man that is the head of the household, then he's going to put order, balance in ways where you may be feeling uncomfortable. But later on, it pays off. And as he says, some single moms, they're just single because they didn't want to listen to the father. They didn't want to listen to the order. They wanted to basically live in chaos. No order, no structure. Just how you feel. Go with your emotions. Last time I checked, emotions don't pay bills. Emotions don't keep a house. Emotions don't pay rent or mortgage. But that's how some people want to be. While the father was just trying to put order, especially for his kid, as well as the woman, which pays off later on. But sooner or later, a child grows up and he is able or she is able to see it. At least if they're not brainwashed too much by the parent.
As far as I know it, my father has always been stable. He wasn't even on child support, and he's giving my mom $275 to $300 cash in my hands to hand to her. When anything broke, like the toilet or the washing machine or the AC or the heater, my dad was always there to fix it, to pay for it, to make sure it was good because I was there. He got married when I was 2 years old, and he's still with that woman to this day. Their house.
That shows right there. This man got married, 2 years old, stayed with the woman to this day. That in itself sometimes shows you it might have not been him. It might have been the chick or the woman. No disrespect to this man's mom at all intended. But it might have been the woman more so that pushed the relationship apart. Didn't want to listen, harbored anger. Ladies, if you can do anything for yourself, anything, let go of anger. Let go of pride. Many times they say men are prideful. No. Many women, especially in groups that I have, the women are the most prideful. Men will give up their pride for the ones they love easily. They're like, man, fuck that. It doesn't matter. But women, that pride becomes your lover. And you more so replace your lover with that pride. Be careful. I would truly suggest you let go of your pride. It's better to lose your pride over the one you love than lose the one you love over your pride. Absolutely. Every time.
So clean and structured that even though we came from the same race or we are the same race, it was a culture shock. Everything that I went through in childhood, I didn't have to go through. And that's most kids that are attached to single mothers. Now, for the single mothers who really don't have a choice, your baby daddy really ain't shit. Not because you want to control something, but he's just really not there. He's not shit. I'm sorry. May God be with you. But for you mothers who have baby daddies who want to be there, but you think you know better, you're failing your kids. I don't care what you say it, how you feel, you're failing your kids.
Before you move forward, many women don't realize separating the family or keeping the father away or not listening, you think you're winning a battle. It's not about you. Once you push that baby out, once you hold that baby in your arms, it ain't about you. I apologize if that sounds mean. It's not all about you. You are failing your child. If the father seems like he has structure, then allow him to deal with the child more. Because if you're not a structured person, be honest with yourself. Did you grow up with structure? How well did that do for you? So why not give your child a leg up? If you see the father is, or your boyfriend or your husband is a structured individual, and you're like, dang, when you first met him, you're like, oh, structure is great for my life. Then when you get married, you're like, he's too structured. But think, how did you grow up and how did he grow up? And how does that more so bring your child to be better? Instead of you taking away resources that your child can have, you more so are just resentful and say, no, I don't want you with them. Knowing damn well you're not doing such a good job that you would really want your child to benefit from. But some women just get stuck in their emotions and their emotions become their master. You're not supposed to be a slave to your emotions. Your emotions are supposed to drive you, but you're not supposed to let them drive you crazy. That's right.
When I finally got connected with my dad, I loved going over his house. Mom got mad, she would take me away, and I wouldn't see him for 3 to 4, 5, 6 months, maybe a year. I
Good for
felt that
him.
heartbreak. Every times my stepmom made me a good ass plate, I done took it home. I'm finna eat that when I get off to school tomorrow. I come home and it's in the trash. Everything in the house would be frozen. I would have to wait until she come home to thaw something out, since I wasn't allowed to use the stove, but only the microwave. I would tell her how much fun I had with my dad, and she would be like, "Oh, it's just Disney World over there, huh?" She would make me clean my room before I went to go see my dad, let my sister destroy it while I'm not there, and then when I get back, she'd be like, "Boy, clean up this room." One time,
You hear all that resentment the mom had? She's not even focused on trying to really make a good time. And I'm sure sometimes she did. I'm not sure, but many cases mothers try to make good times, but they don't realize they're reacting with emotions and resentment towards the man that left, or towards the man that they didn't even want in general. They wanted him to stick in misery with them, but then he moves on, and that's something very important. Usually, when it's a good man, if he leaves that relationship, somebody's gonna snatch him up eventually. It doesn't matter. Truth be told, many times it doesn't matter how many kids he has. If he's a good man, there's not a lot of men out here. There aren't. Most men are either locked up, they're homosexual, they're they refuse to date, they don't have jobs or whatnot. You find a man that's working, straight, cares about his kids, loves family, loves God. Man, these women jump on him like he's a hotcake. But some women don't realize that.
she was like, "You want to go stay with your dad?" I said,
Of course.
"Yes." She was like, "Pack up your shit then." So I did. She came in and seen that room was packed. She said, "Oh, you for real?" Came back and would fire my ass until one of her little boyfriends came and was like, "Yo, just chill out. Just chill out. He didn't even do nothing wrong." And she was like, "Fuck that shit. I do everything for him." By choice, and you sucked at it. She wanted.
Notice he said by choice and she sucked at it. Meaning she could have easily got help from his dad. She could have easily probably got back with him. Most men will take the bullshit just for their kids and their family, try to make it work. But some women fall in love with the idea of trying to be, oh, I'm a single mom. You take that badge like you have to, and then you proclaim it like it's a great thing while you're struggling, driving yourself crazy, driving your kids crazy at the same time. But you take it like it's a badge of honor. No, man, single motherhood should be the last result. It shouldn't be something that, well, I can do it by myself because I don't want to deal with you. Man, you better take your ass to counseling. You're dealing with kids. Let's continue.
Love so bad, so I seen a lot of men not even understanding that every man that she brought around me just made me trust her less and less and less. And she turned me into an adult very fast. Change your sister diaper. Watch your sister. Make sure your sister make it on time with you to school. You heard that? Did you recognize what I just said?
That's another part that's horrible usually. Single mothers usually take the oldest And that oldest becomes an adult so quick. If it's a boy, that boy basically becomes her husband or her boyfriend because he has to basically take care of the household, take care of the other kids. And then if he doesn't do so, she's going to berate him, or she's going to play the victim to where he feels bad and he wishes that he was older. He was old enough to save her. And then he more so puts so much on his shoulder, he has no time to be a child. Most people that were robbed of their childhood look at their kids and like, nah, I don't want that to ever happen. But then they inadvertently do the same shit when they want to separate from their partner. And this is what happens. You rob that child of their childhood, and you're thinking, why are you talking back to me? Or why are you entering an adult conversation? Because you put that child in adulthood. You didn't keep a child in a child's place. You made him think that he was equal. So it gets to a certain point where he bucks up at you and you're like, what the hell? Because you allowed it that. You did that.
From when she was little baby, changing her diaper, giving her milk, to all the way to she made it to elementary as well, and we going to elementary together, and now I'm still doing the job. I would tell her, Mom, I don't like how you're whooping my sisters to force them to call the next man that you got daddy. He'd be like, boy, shut up and go sit down before I whoop your ass. Sometimes she would be all nice and sweet and be like, come here, baby. Who you love the most, me or your daddy? And I'd be like, I love both of y'all. And she used to be like, he don't love you. Where he at? You ain't seen him in months, have you? But she didn't acknowledge that I realized that was because she said, fuck you, you can't see your son.
Some women don't realize eventually the kid will know. Eventually, kids watch us way more than we watch them. They watch how we speak, how we move, how we do things, and they just pay attention to little things. And you'll think you're tricking them, but they're learning you. They're understanding. Oh, you're choosing to do this bullshit. Oh, you're choosing to stay away from him. You're choosing to struggle. Including what she did was try to make the child choose. And many toxic mothers, and I hate that term, but horrible mothers. The only reason why I say horrible is because when they try to turn the child against the other parent, will literally make the child choose between I love this one more, I love that one more. It's not about that. It's not about winning. We're on the same fucking team. Many people do that and they don't realize you're on the same fucking team. It's not about him winning, her winning. It's about both of you winning. It gets frustrating when I have clients come in and they have so much trauma because one person kept the other person out of their life out of anger within their own selves. And then the child has to pay for it as an adult.
She'll be whooping my ass for some shit I did, and I'd be like, Daddy! 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 And she'll whoop me harder and tell me to shut up before she give me something to cry about. It's not a one-man job. I hear people say all of the time, like, why you give your dad grace but not me? Because why the fuck did you do that? Do you know how that affected me as an adult? And not only that, since it affected me so much, you kicked me out the house and made me the black sheep of the family. Like, it wasn't y'all fault that I was... Yeah. That's probably why.
Hey man, I commend this guy for opening up emotionally about, what happened to him as he was growing up. This is why many men avoid single mothers, because they know they're going to deal with a lot of resentment and anger. And sometimes being a single mom is an option. Sometimes. Don't come commenting, oh, you don't know what you... Sometimes. Some women choose to go into single motherhood, because they don't want to listen. They don't want to compromise with the father or anything such. Or they get duped into it by other single mothers that say, no, I'm doing it by myself. You can do it by yourself too. And that dumbass girl or woman or whatever breaks up a family. You know how many times I have therapy group sessions with groups of women that two women are telling one woman, get a divorce. Because they've gotten a divorce or they're going through a divorce. But when you ask them, are you happily going through this divorce? Truthfully, most of them say no. But they're trying to pull this woman into misery. I've seen that happen in groups multiple times. This is why single motherhood should be the last result. The same way you will say, I'll die for my kids, kill your own pride for your kids. Let your pride die for your kids. Let your anger die for your kids. Let your resentment die for your kids. Because you'll be so close to say, I'll die for my kids. I'll do this for my kids. I'll stab somebody for my kids. I'll do that for my kids. But you won't correct the things that's wrong with you, within you, for your kids. You won't go to the back. You won't go to back emotionally for your kids. You won't address your traumas for your kids. Everything else is bullshit. You'll do the easiest thing, which is die, because it takes no work to do that. The truth be told, living for your kids is the biggest thing you can do. And ladies, you can see this is an example of you trying to be a single mother. You think you're toting around a badge of honor, while you don't realize later on down the road, your child grows up with so much resentment, not only for you, for his father, and then he starts to look at himself. Be careful, ladies. Single motherhood is the last resort. Many men try to avoid single mothers because they know the turmoil and the package that comes with it. But please, ladies, if you're a single mom, if you can get back with the man, truth be told, with no abuse, no problems, whatever. I know many people may say some certain things. If you can get back with that man, turn your ass around. Get back with that man. Bring that family together and help that child grow, seeing a two-parent household, trying to love each other rather than trying to give up and not deal with each other. With that said, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. One love.